few things to review. And I hope to go pretty quickly because we want to play this time.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing to review is that I had to make a couple of decisions about the phrasing in the rules. As far as I can tell, despite one or two contradictions, the power number just stays exactly where it is.
Mm-hmm.
You get your power counters, your markers. That's what we would pass around in negotiations, for example, and that's what we would use. And it is correct that they refresh at the beginning of a turn.
Okay.
So you have your power markers for that turn. What you should know, and we may have to review this because it's getting technical. Think of yourself as having 3 actions during conflicts. In your actions, you can make one of your guys do something. You can try to seize another guy, or you can have a direct conflict about something else, right, with somebody. And to seize another guy, you have to fight the other person, right? So, for example, if you want to, like when Jock tried to take control of the oil company. I mean, it's his company, but JR is like, no, sorry. I'm running it. Because you can play these characters, you see. That's the point. You can actually play these characters. He can have the oil company do something. Note that I have learned more about my cards. I have plot events that I can pull in as elements of play. These are they have no numbers. But there are some that we know have happened. The anonymous letter threatening you is known to exist. So it is right here, just as a plot element. If you wanted to, for example, get control of it, you would just maybe, I don't even know, I mean, you would just have somebody get it and I would just hand this to you, you see. Right? Somebody who makes sense for them to get it. Like you could get them to do that. I noticed that in activity, remember when you defended yourself against the FBI, I realized that I should have flipped over this card, bribe of a Justice Department official. So that means that you have actually, that's pretty much what you did, right? So that's that gets flipped over. So there are a few others. Sometimes I will flip them over when I bring them in. It just lets you know that kind of thing is going on. For example, he's vulnerable. He bribed the Justice Department. That's like a major federal department. Somebody might, if you have a character that could find that out. If you have a character who can find that out, then it's there to be used. You see what I mean? So we have that. And I was checking, I cannot find any rules, and it just seemed like I thought this was the case, where your character and your character could actually team up to operate in a conflict.
No, that seems not to be the case.
I don't think so. I think the only way that really works is if they give you power.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're making deals about power. They give some examples of you do a little conflict that you might or might not succeed in, but that person lent you somebody who could do it, and then in return you give them a lot of power on a target you've agreed on. Right. So the negotiations often may move power around a lot, the markers. Based on you say, well, I'm going to help that guy. Okay, here's 5 power, right, or something like that. That's kind of the mechanics as I understand it. Johan, do these match your reading more or less?
Yes.
Yeah. And so you'll pick up on things reasonably quickly. You should know that as Bobby's wife and Cliff's sister, you are a bit stuck in the middle. Right, because you've married into this other family who ruined your family.
She's introduced in the first episode. Yes,
right.
Yes.
And so, but Cliff is a crusading reporter, and the thing is that you guys actually get along pretty well. So he doesn't resent you for marrying Bobby, but he he's perfectly willing to use you as a information source. And what we played last time is actually that Pam helped out Cliff quite a bit, right?
Did she know?
Didn't you? No, you actually colluded with your mother-in-law a lot, right? And so because and so she has. You told her about the letters, right?
Yeah.
Right. She's an old lovers. I mean, boyfriends. I mean, good friends. Letters like from 40 years ago or something, right? But the dude's a famous senator now.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, she's only 53. I keep thinking of
all right, 30 years ago, right? And so therefore, well, okay, I'm not going to do the math, but JR is 35 years old. So, must have been just a couple of years before you married Jock that this happened. So at this point, she's trying to figure out, like, can she get this blackmailer? That's why I have anonymous letter out. Trying to get rid of that guy. Is whoever that is important. And you have a minor ambition of getting a better job and reputation as a press writer, as a magazine and press writer. So you have made some contacts. And here is what you need to get what you want. You will need all of these, or Ellie can have any of them, and that still counts for you. Yeah, that's perfectly all right.
There were some other, I think there was some other case here, or Cliff. I cannot if Cliff controls the.
But that's for a different. That's a different we're in the Great Plain.
Right.
I actually like that one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have photo evidence.
There you go. Perfect. Okay. I was going by the scribbles on your sheet.
Unintelligible.
Good. So you'll pick up how this is done in just a moment. It is a role-playing game, even if it's got all this strategy and stuff. And so we'll move into our new turn. I think we're ready to go.
And this is not the first time in the series that another actor is playing the same character.
That's common for the era.
Now, let's take a look at our current circumstances. We are moving into roughly another day. It's not rigid that it's a day-by-day turn thing, but roughly another day. And Bobby has been kind of messed with a little bit, right? You've tried to get an opportunity to do all the things Bobby wants to do, and some dude with his damn dice
Actually,
messed it up again.
Wasn't there meant to be like a big family gathering?
Yeah,
Yes.
there was meant to be.
With all of us.
Yeah, dinner.
Okay.
We could of course postpone it until later.
No,
Yeah.
I think that it would have been too quick to do it just that evening.
Right.
So I think logistically it makes sense for it to be the next evening.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
And so we could just move straight to that, or any build up to it, or any specific actions if somebody is burning with, desire. So let's move.
Just telling you that I have like power markers if you want.
I think we should use them. Yeah.
And I have like 3 turn markers as well because I'm not that clever.
And we also don't want to forget to use those. For example, I said 3 actions, right? One of those actions can be to protect a character, including yourself. So you can strengthen a character. So technically you could say, I'm not doing anything, I'm just protecting everything during the conflict phase.
But as long as I have a single character, I can only use like 2 of my actions, because I can use 1 to protect him.
Right, and 1 to do something, You can't use a character for multiple actions.
When you're protecting them, is it so that people can't take them?
How much power?
+3, I guess, against affected attacks.
Yeah,
you resist
okay.
You strengthen them a little bit.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
And what is your power? The actual power.
4.
Here. And sorry, Johan, I have appropriated your stuff.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay. They're red, white, and blue.
I
I just realized. Oh, disgusting. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, and actually those turn markers are a really good idea. You want to pass them around?
3 each.
Yes.
Thank you.
Good. That way we won't leave somebody out when they could have done something.
Right.
And as you have picked up, the power markers can be shared and make deals and give.
Yeah, you give each other power markers.
Yeah.
And we'll see what we actually do with them later. I suppose.
Well, usually it's to do something specific.
And the power here, are not relevant in this case.
The power for those
Organization
is handled, I think, a little differently. So power marker, right? Minor and organizational characters' power is not transferable. It is only applied to resistance and is applied automatically. So when you have that. So that means that the power for these minor characters and organizations is defensive only.
Okay.
And I think the point is that it gets used up.
Yeah. Unless you control a character, because then you can use one of the characters to affect another, and then you use their power plus if you want to use your
I'm still a little confused about whether you use the objective power or not, but it seems like you do.
I think you do. But if you control them, you can also use your power.
Well, hold on. You're getting into the weeds of situations. Let's not say on Tuesday it works like this.
Yeah.
Let's not do that right now. Okay, so that's role playing games.
Well, that's my reading.
Yeah. We'll get there when we get there. What about if we move into the evening? And it would be an ordinary evening unless somebody wants to. We have the evening, we have the middle of the night, we have the next day. What are things everybody can, in an unconstructed way, talk about what you want to do, and then we'll have the time of day.
Could I hear the open cards so that what everybody has? So you've got.
Kane Ropshore, state investigator, and local press.
Okay, so you control those, and I can try to take them away from you. I control nothing.
Or Ewing Oil Company.
And a hidden card.
Which I believe that actually has been uncovered by this point, right?
Yeah, but not directly.
Indirectly. Yes.
The suspicion is very strong at this time. Yeah.
I have Oil Trade Association, First Republic Bank Shares, and Jorge Grace.
Aha. This is actually fairly powerful because Jorge Grace is like a serious political gangster type. And then we have, you may control what Ewing Oil does, but you're controlling all the back channel, all the infrastructure, right? Both the legal and the corporate and the financial capability of the company. So that's interesting, right? It's like you've got the phones, but he's got the account numbers. Now for you, we have the FBI, and which you already used to crack down on your own son, I might add. And you did that actually at Pam's suggestion. Was that right? No.
I think it was just my own suggestion.
Okay.
Not that, no.
Okay. And you have agreed to help find out the letters for Ellie, especially because you have some investigatory power.
Yeah, the Ropshore that affects the FBI. I suppose it's an FBI agent or something, state investigator.
It's not FBI actually. It's
Texas.
Hold on. Yeah, it's the Texas government, and just to clarify, I believe we went over this last time a little bit. Yes. The State Attorney General's office, which is actually a pretty high level justice situation, not federal, but and that's the problem. She was too good at her job and regulated the oil refineries, and so they gave her a job where she can't do anything.
She has zero power.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. But she's very into oil lease fraud, because what's going on right now is the discovery of an old Spanish land grant, which suddenly means, if it is validated, would suddenly mean that a whole bunch of people there who currently probably don't own anything would suddenly lay claim to all of this area with oil on it. So in it. So so that's an issue. And you have
I have the local government, Department of Interior, the Farm Workers Union, and Mix Nettlestone.
aha, right. And
Who was that guy?
yeah,
He's
I'm
the
looking up.
head honcho publisher.
Oh,
Right, because you actually talked with your brother
Mm.
about possibly
She
Right.
first called.
you have an informal
Yeah, she first called Mix, and then I had
right,
kind of alluded that might be able to give him a better contact.
right,
Might
right.
be able to.
So effectively you have access as long as Cliff agrees.
Right.
Yeah.
I see.
So yeah, okay then. Let's
and Ron, you also got some face-up cards from you that we can affect.
true or acquire. I have a lot of local muscle. We have the local police. We have the Texas Rangers, which is a somewhat disturbing tolerated paramilitary group with some official police connection in Texas. I'm not quite sure what they are or what they really do, but everything sounds bad. But everyone thinks they're cool. I don't get it.
Another TV series from the 80s.
There is a fellow who's not that relevant to your characters, but could be. He's literally a small-time rancher who's such a horse thief and cattle thief that he basically is always moving the stock around and can probably do all kinds of criminal things if you wanted him to. Same thing with your dude, right? Jorge Grace, except he's more high level. And then Esteban Cruz, who is like the ranch guy at the Ewing family ranch, but he's well connected and well liked in town, so he can accomplish all sorts of things. And then we have Alexis Blancher, who I think, if I'm remembering correctly, is kind of like that secretary who knows everything and gets everything done at Ewing Oil. So is a very pretty effective character, especially apparently she's hot. Seduction at 18 and defends at 7. And very, very good investigation. So apparently she like knows all the ins and outs of all the Ewing Oil complicated deals and stuff. There we go. Let's see. Who wants to do what in the run up to dinner tomorrow?
Who's gonna be at the dinner?
All are.
I think it's a big family because
Yeah.
you guys
For
had
some
a
reason.
wait, you guys had a deal. What did the previous actor, what did Christopher and you agree upon?
Did we agree?
Did you refuse to go to the dinner or did you agree? You might have refused.
It says here has agreed to invite.
Ah,
Cliff to
you-
dinner.
okay.
Invite. So
Yes,
I don't know
you-
actually.
you-
I
yeah.
don't remember that.
You did get invited.
Okay. Let's just say that I'll show up.
Okay.
You got invited.
Yeah,
Otherwise,
it's awkward.
Yeah, I don't.
It's awkward when
exactly.
Cliff is there, but you know. But yeah, I think Jock wanted to
Yes,
to
I
pull
want to
everybody
smooth
together.
things over.
Yeah.
Pam is part of the family now, and
Right.
of course you're her brother. I know that's a bad.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah, it's time.
Yeah.
Time to,
But I don't
like
remember.
the king said, turn the page.
or at least sweeten up the risk that he provided.
that also.
Yes. So
Yeah.
good.
I think I might try to get hold of the Texas Rangers for
Okay.
some obscure reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because why not?
The more the merrier.
Yeah. +2 to if you have them, your coercion goes up by 2.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
So yeah, they're scary.
Yeah.